Okay, students, we will begin now. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So today we are going to work on the understanding from your side. How much have you understood in chapter number 10? And then we will move on to the question and answers part, thinking about the text. We see that there is no oral comprehension check in this chapter. You already know that in the beginning there is introduction of Gautam Buddha. Okay, how did he spend his early life till uh, uh, till adulthood, and then when he started to become a sincere uh, individual, he realized that there is pain in the world, and some people are sick, some people are dying. So he tried to understand the pain and left his previous life, became a monk, and spent his the whole life uh, in a different way. He went to seek enlightenment, and uh, uh, he uh, he roamed around for 7 years looking uh, for the answers to his question. Then he sat down under a peepal tree and spent there 7 days, and then he received nirvana, the understanding of uh, what he was thinking about, and he was known as enlightened or awakened the Buddha. You know. And this is that you studied was his first sermon, and it was at Banaras. Banaras is known for being a most holy dipping places of all in India. I gave you the list of about 7 dipping places in India, and Banaras, one of the Ghat of Ganga, is the most holiest place of all for the Hindus. So this is the chapter that you have already gone through. I have explained it in 2 videos. If you have not watched the video, please go and watch the video again. And today, those who understood will raise hand and explain to me how much have you understood. So who would like to explain first? Okay, Khadija and Malia has raised hand. Humaira and Fatima as well. Anyone else? Anyone from boys? Aisha as well. Okay, let's have what Khadija says first. Khadija, you have uh, to stick to the life of Gautam Buddha. है ना? The introduction that is about Gautam Buddha, you will explain that only.
Okay. This story is about Siddharth Gautam, who is also known as Gautam Buddha. He studied at the Hindu scriptures for 4 years. Then he married a princess and had a son. At the age of 25, he went out for hunting and saw the real world outside. He saw a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and then he saw a monk. These sights moved him, and he wandered for 7 years in search of enlightenment. One day he sat under a peepal tree and vowed there to be until there he gets real enlightenment. And after 7 days, he renamed the tree as Bodhi tree and started preaching the people. And from that point, he became known as Buddha, which means awakened or enlightened. Buddha gave his first sermon at Banaras near Ganga River, which is a holy place. That sermon is considered precious and is still preserved.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, next is Maliha. Maliha will explain what happened to uh, Kisa Gautami, and you have to explain till uh, uh, she went to house uh, and she couldn't find the answer. Should you don't have to explain from here onwards. Okay.
Okay, sir. Kisa Gautami was a woman who had only one son, and now she was grieving over his death. She went from place to place so that somehow she could cure his son from any kind of medicine. But his son was, alas, he was dead, and
Your voice is breaking, Malia.
so am I audible?
And now, yes.
So then the man told about a physician who could cure his son. Therefore the girl requested to just tell his name quickly as possible. Then the man told Kisa Gautami about Buddha. Kisa Gautami immediately went to Buddha and asked him to cure his son from any kind of medicine. The Buddha replied and requested Kisa Gautami to bring a handful of mustard seed, but along with the condition that the mustard seed should be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent, or friend. Kisa Gautami now again went from place to place to find a handful of mustard seed where no one has died, but she could find no house where anyone had not died.
Okay, good. Now, what is the understanding of Kisa Gautami about human being and life will be explained by Humera.
Yes, sir. Kisa Gautami became hopeless. After some time, she realized that death is common to all. Everyone has to lose their loved ones. Uh,
Spend 1 minute reading this text on the screen and then try to explain again.
okay.
After this, we have Fatima and Aisha. So आयशा को जो हुमैरा एक्सप्लेन कर रही हैं और इसके बाद का जो टेक्स्ट है वो आयशा का रहेगा. इससे पहले का जितना भी टेक्स्ट है वो पूरा फातिमा का रहेगा. फातिमा, यू पे अटेंशन टू दैट.
Yes. Kisa Gautami became hopeless. She sat down at the wayside. She saw the lights in the city. They would flicker up and then they were disappearing again. Then at night she saw that darkness of night. She considered that
Okay, Humaira, I will give you a chance again. Okay, so let's move on to Fatima. Humaira, you will have to explain this text again after Fatima is done. Okay, now Fatima, you have to explain till here from the very beginning, till this paragraph.
So I can't see
Can you see it now?
from where
From top till here,
from Puva Kisa Gautami
from the very beginning.
when the story starts.
Yes.
Um, Buddha starts his sermon with a very short story about a mother who had lost his only son, and in her grief she carried him to everybody, asking them to cure him. She met a man who told her to visit the Buddha. The lady pleaded Buddha to cure her son. Buddha told her to get mustard seeds from a house where no one had lost a child, a husband, a parent, or a friend. Kisa Gautami went house to house but did not find a house where no person had died. At last, she understood the fate of men, that man comes in this world and departs. Then the Buddha said that there is not any means by which no one can by which one can rescue death. Death is common to all. There is always a danger of death standing right in front of you. Everything has an end. An earthen vessel at some point breaks, and so does a man made up of clay. Should I
Okay.
continue, sir?
Uh, Tell me about Buddha.
Um, Gautama Buddha was born as a royal prince and was called Siddharth Gautama. He was sent to study sacred scriptures at the age of 12. At the age of 25, he chanced upon a sick man, an aged man, and a funeral procession, and a monk begging. All those men whose life was so different from his. This caused him to seek knowledge about sorrows. And he got enlightened after 7 years of wandering. He sat under a peepal tree, which he renamed as Bodhi tree, as he got enlightened under that tree, and he became to be known as the enlightened or the awakened, the Buddha. He gave his first sermon at Benares.
Okay, good. Humera, your turn now.
Yes, sir. Kisa Gautami became tired and hopeless. She sat down at the edge of the road, watching the lights of the city. She saw that the lights are shining up and they were extinguished again. Then she considered it the fate of men that their life man is born and he has to die. She thought that she is selfish in her grief, and she realized that death is common to all. Everyone has to lost their loved ones.
Okay, good. Now, Aisha, what else Buddha say after that?
Then Buddha explains her that no one can escape from death, even if he is wise or a fool, and that after reaching old age, everyone has to die. He explains it by giving the examples of ripe foods in their early stage they are also in danger, just like mortals, and also that earthen vessels have to be are also end by breaking, just like mortals. And he explains that wise or a fool cannot escape the death, and we should not grieve upon them, as it would be no good. And and a father, and he also explains that a father cannot save his son, not a kinsman can save the relations, uh, so we should not grieve upon a death, and by grieving or by suffering, we cannot attend peace, and a peace can only be attained just by being composed. And by being composed, we can overcome all of our sorrows and be blessed.
Uh,
Good. Ahmed Raza, do you want to say something?
no,
Keep yourself muted then. So that was the explanation, and that was good explanation of the whole chapter. Uh, mm, when you see it through the eyes of Islam and Quran, you see something missing. And there is something missing in it. If you see it through the eyes of Quran, through the glasses of Quran, if you see, you will find that in the explanation of life and death, in the explanation of sorrow, there is something missing. And there is one more thing that he talks about, enlightenment, uh, and he says, and his action says that one who has to gain knowledge, है ना? Knowledge means understanding of the worldly affairs uh, and the God and the sorrows. You have to leave the, you know, everything that God has given you. Uh, that's one of the major contradiction with Islam. One of the major contradiction of Islam. So I want to discuss it tomorrow. I want to discuss it tomorrow with you. And uh, if you have any question regarding this, you can put it on Google Classroom. Okay, I will create one comment, and you have to write whatever comments you're writing under that comment only. Okay, so we will be discussing this chapter through the glasses of Islam and Quran and Hadith. Okay, tomorrow inshallah. So you don't have much time, so start working on it, start thinking, start analyzing the text, है ना, कि वो किस तरह से लाइफ को और डेथ को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, किस तरह से वो पेन को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, है ना. बहुत ही मेजर चीजें हैं जो कि पेन के सिलसिले में, तकलीफों के सिलसिले में, है ना. मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम also went through a lot of hardship in his life. एक हदीस है जो हजरत बिलाल के बारे में है. हजरत बिलाल से एक इंसान ने कहा कि ये तुम्हारा खुदा कौन है, ये तो तुमको इतनी तकलीफ में देखता है, परेशानी में देखता है, उसके बाद भी तुमको बचाना नहीं आता है. तो उनका जो जवाब था वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. वो जवाब मैं आपको अभी नहीं बताऊंगा. अगर आप वो जवाब ढूंढ सकते हैं तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जवाब है ना, पेन को समझने में. फिर एक बार एक सहाबी जिनको तकलीफ दी जा रही थी, वो हुजूर से पूछते हैं कि अल्लाह ताला के नबी, मदद कब आएगी, नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मदद कब आएगी. तो हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जो है उस वक्त गुस्सा हो जाता है, उनका चेहरा लाल हो जाता है. उस वक्त हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम एक जवाब देते हैं. वो क्या जवाब देते हैं, वो जवाब अगर आप ढूंढ पाए कल तक तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. फिर कुरान की बहुत सारी आयतें हैं जो कहती हैं कि तुम ईमान ले आए तो काफी नहीं है ना, और जो मोमिन है वो इस तरह के होंगे, इस तरह के होंगे, इस तरह के होंगे. वहां सबसे हमको सीखने को मिलता है कि ये दुनिया की सफरिंग जो है वो क्या है. अल्लाह ताला कुरान में कहता है कि माँ असाबा में मुसीबत. उसके बाद जो अल्लाह ताला कहता है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चीज को समझने के लिए, कि जो मुसीबत भी तुम्हारे ऊपर आती है वो इसलिए आती है कि. उसके बाद अल्लाह ताला कुछ कहता है, वो क्या कहता है वो समझने के जैसा है ना. तो अगर आप इन सब चीजों पर कल तक काम कर पाते हैं बहुत अच्छी बात है ना. जितना ज्यादा आप पार्टिसिपेट करने की कोशिश करेंगे इतनी चीजें आपकी बेहतर समझ में आएंगी. बिकॉज यू आर लिविंग इन अ मुस्लिम सोसाइटी, यू नो दीज थिंग बेटर, है ना. बट जस्ट नोइंग इज नॉट इनफ फॉर अ मुस्लिम. A Muslim should be able to explain what he thinks or what he believes in. हम किसी चीज पर यकीन रखते हो और हम उसको एक्सप्लेन ना कर पाए किसी इंसान को, ये एक शेम है ना, एक शर्म की बात है हमारे लिए. तो अगर आप अ, देख सकें इन सब चीजों को कि मौत, जिंदगी, इंसान का पैदा होना, इंसान का मरना, पैदा क्यों किया अल्लाह ताला ने, क्यों मरता है, क्यों तकलीफें झेलता है ना. तो ये सब चीजें जो हैं इनको समझने के लिए कल हम एक क्लास और करेंगे, दिनियत का क्लास. ओके, तो कल इंशाल्लाह हम इसके ऊपर ही डिस्कशन करेंगे. अभी देख लेते हैं कि अच्छा कुछ बॉयज में से कोई एक स्टूडेंट, कोई दो तीन स्टूडेंट ऐसे मिल जाएं जो चैप्टर में से कहीं से भी कुछ एक्सप्लेन करना चाहें. एनी वन फ्रॉम एनीवेयर इन द चैप्टर. ओके, चलिए लेट्स मूव ऑन. एक्चुअली मुझे डर भी लगता है कि मैं किसी से कहूँ तो दो एक लोग और छोड़ के चले ना जाएं, तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग फायदा उठाएं, भले ही वो सुन के उठा रहे हैं. तो चलिए लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन आंसर पार्ट, एंड वी हैव 5 questions. It will not be too long. The first question is, when her son dies, Kisa Gautami goes from house to house. What does she ask for, and does she get it? Why not? Who would like to answer this question? किसा गौतमी घर घर जाती है और अपने बच्चे के मरने के बाद, और वो लोगों से पूछती है ना. क्या पूछती है, क्या मांगती है लोगों से वो. आस्क का मतलब पूछना भी होता है, मांगना भी होता है ना. हम आस्किंग योर फॉरगिवनेस, मैं तुमसे माफी मांग रहा हूँ। तो आस्क का मतलब मांगना भी होता है ना। डज शी गेट इट, क्या वो जो वो मांग रही है क्या वो मिलता है उसको? हाँ, मिलता है तो वो आंसर में है ही नहीं आपके असल में, है ना, इसलिए यहाँ पे लिखा है वाई नॉट, है ना, क्यों नहीं मिलता है। तो असल में क्वेश्चन आपका ये मेन क्वेश्चन है, वाई नॉट, क्यों नहीं मिल पाता है। और ये क्वेश्चन है व्हाट डज शी आस्क, ये आपके मेन क्वेश्चन है। तो हुमैरा ने पहले हाथ उठाया है, यस हुमैरा।
When her son dies, Kisa Gautami, in her grief, carried her son and went from house to house. She asked for some medicine which can bring her dead child back to the life. But she couldn't get it because there is no medicine which can bring a dead back to the life.
Okay, good. So there is one major mistake in the answer, in from the point of grammar. Can someone highlight it? The question is in present simple. Huh. Everywhere the question is in present simple. When her son dies, है ना, she goes, what does she? So this question is present simple, and the answer was in past simple. Okay. When when the question is in present simple, your answer should also be in present simple. Okay, that's the rule you need to follow. Okay, so if someone is asking question in Hindi, you should also respond in Hindi, है ना? If he's asking in English, you should try to answer in English, है ना? If you know the English. The same way, if the person is asking in a particular tense, you should answer in particular tense, है ना? क्या तुम जाओगे? तुम कहो नहीं मैं नहीं गया था, है ना? क्या तुम जाओगे? नहीं मैं नहीं गया था। जब आप ऐसे आंसर देते हैं तो आपके आंसर का मतलब इंसान समझता है कि इसको पता ही नहीं मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ। तो आपको टेंसेस का ध्यान रखना चाहिए। आपका आंसर सही था, ग्रामेटिकली उसमें कुछ मिस्टेक्स हैं। आप जो पास्ट फॉर्म आपने यूज किया टेंस की, उसको प्रेजेंट सिंपल में कन्वर्ट कर दीजिए। द सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज, ये मिस्टेक कोई भी कर सकता था, ये सिर्फ मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि हुमैरा से जुड़ी हुई है, सबके लिए है जो मैंने कहा आपसे। किसा गौतमी अगेन गोज फ्रॉम हाउस टू हाउस आफ्टर शी स्पीक्स विद द बुद्धा, है ना। What does she ask for the second time round? Does she get it? Why not? दूसरी बार फिर किसा गौतमी जाती है, पर बेचारी को अभी भी कुछ नहीं मिलता है। क्या मांग रही है वो दूसरी बार, और क्यों नहीं मिलता है वो उसको? Who would like to answer this except Humera? Yes, Fatima.
The second time, when Kisa Gautami goes from house to house in search of mustard seeds, um, from a house where no child, husband, parent, or friend is dead, uh, she does not find a single house. She does not find a single such house because death is common to all, and death has no cure. It is a fate of men. They come in this world and they depart, and nobody in this world can avoid dying.
Okay, good. Fatima, are you reading any books these days? Except your
I
syllabus
just
book,
read.
are you reading any book?
I just read it.
Which one?
Just finished. The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. Alchemist किस सब्जेक्ट पर है?
Um, it is it is a general means a book um, about the soul of the world and
Okay, okay. Actually, I see some improvement in your responses. That's why, because when you are reading, uh, it is a very good way to learn, to spend time with those writings who are good, है ना? जो अच्छा लिखते हैं, if you are spending time with those writings or those writers, what will happen? Your English will improve automatically. You will have more words, you will have more ways to say things. Okay, so I suggest you all to have one book. You can study on your tablet in your mobile as well, but it is better to have a physical book in your hand, and to keep your eyes safe and have a healthy reading, है ना. तो बेहतर है अपनी इंग्लिश को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए कि आप कोई बुक रखें अपने पास. और अगर फातिमा अभी पढ़ रही हैं तो मुझे उम्मीद है वो और भी पढ़ी होंगी उन्होंने. उनसे कुछ आप बोरो करने की भी कोशिश कर सकते हैं अगर वो दे दें आपको तो, है ना. तो लेकिन वापस जरूर कर दीजिएगा. और भी कोई है जो रीडिंग कर रहा है अभी? इज देयर एनीवन एल्स हु इज रीडिंग एनी अदर बुक? So you should read. Malia Fatima ne hath uthaya. Yes, Fatima. Malia Fatima, what are you reading these days?
I had read the philosophical book written by Aristotle.
Aristotle. Okay. Okay. तो उसमें से कितना समझ में आया आपके?
A bit, but it's a good book.
It's a good book. Okay. So very good. Good selection, but not of your age. So have something that you can understand completely. And I'm not commenting on what you chose before, but I'm commenting for the future. Okay. So have something for that can help you understand, and you can connect with that knowledge, connect with that information. है ना. It should not only be, and मतलब, if you want to read philosophical books, read with Muslim scholars, है ना. Because the way Aristotle or other philosopher put things forward, it can confuse you when you think in Islamic way. So better you choose books that are written by Islamic scholars first, then you go to the books that are written by these highly गुड राइटर्स, है ना. उनके ऊपर आप बाद में जाइएगा. ये मेरा सजेशन है आपके लिए. बाय द वे, दैट बुक इज गुड, बट बी केयरफुल with your choices. The third question is, what does Kisa Gautami understand the second time that she failed to understand the first time? Was this what the Buddha wanted her to understand? किसा गौतमी को पहली बार जो चीज समझ में नहीं आई वो दूसरी बार में समझ में आ गई. क्या समझ में आई उसके या नहीं आई, और जो चीज समझ में आई थी क्या ये वही थी जो कि बुद्धा उसको समझाना चाहते थे? Who would like to answer this question? We have only 8 minutes or less than 8 minutes remaining. जो लोग आंसर दे चुके हैं वो भी आंसर दे सकते हैं. It's okay. Humera, you will answer this question.
Yes, sir. 1 minute. Can I get 1 minute?
I gave you to read this text. The answer is from that text itself.
Kisa Gautami understood that death is common to all. She thought that there is no one who has lost their loved ones, who has not loved. Um,
हम्म. ओके. ये 3 क्वेश्चन जो हैं इनको हम द डे आफ्टर टुमारो लेंगे. ओके. Why do you think Kisa Gautami understood this only second time? In what way did the Buddha change her understanding? This is the second question that is not been taken today. How do you usually understand the idea of selfishness? Do you agree with Kisa Gautami that she was being selfish in her grief? अ, ये फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन है, ये आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग पर है, और इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर में कल का जो डिस्कशन है वो फ्रूटफुल होगा इंशाल्लाह। तो ये तीन क्वेश्चन जो आज हमने नहीं लिए हैं, थर्ड फोर फाइव, थर्ड फोर्थ एंड फिफ्थ, ये हम इंशाल्लाह द डे आफ्टर टुमारो लेंगे। इसके ऊपर आप लोग काम कीजिएगा, कोशिश कीजिएगा इसको आंसर करने की। ओके, तो हम इसको जब थिंकिंग अबाउट दी लैंग्वेज ले रहे होंगे उस वक्त हम पहले इन क्वेश्चंस को डिस्कस करेंगे द डे आफ्टर टुमारो इंशाल्लाह। सो फॉर टुमारो यू हैव वन डिस्कशन टू वर्क ऑन। ओके, एंड इस जो जो वीडियो है इसमें जाकर जरूर देखिएगा कि कौन कौन सी चीजें मैंने डिस्कस की हैं, क्या क्या चीजें मैं चाहता हूँ आपसे कि आप उसके बारे में सोचें, है ना। पार्टिसिपेट करने की कोशिश कीजिएगा। ये वो चीज है जो आपका मजहब आपको सिखाता है, और दूसरे मजहब भी उसके ऊपर बात करते हैं। whenever you will say something about Islam, others will say हमारे मजहब में भी तो है ये चीज, तो फिर तुम क्यों कहते हो ये चीज अलग है तुम्हारे मजहब में? तो क्या अलग है आपके मजहब में, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए, और कैसे वो ज्यादा अपीलिंग है, वो ज्यादा नेचुरल है, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए, है ना। then only you will be able to do that job that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us in the very last sermon of his, है ना। मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने अपने लास्ट खुतबे में जो हजरतुल वदा के तौर पे वक्त उन्होंने किया था, लास्ट हज जो था, अलविदाई हज उसको कहते हैं, हजतुल वदा, उसमें हुजूर ने हमको एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी थी कि जो यहाँ है वो उन तक पहुंचा दें जो यहाँ नहीं है। तो हर ऐसे इंसान पर जिस तक दीन पहुंच गया है उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो उसको आगे बढ़ाए। तो जब ये जिम्मेदारी हमारे ऊपर भी आती है तो हमको दीन को बेहतर तौर पर समझना जरूरी है, इतना बेहतर तौर पर कि हम दूसरों को समझा सकें उसको। ठीक है, तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि एवरी स्टूडेंट शुड बी एबल टू पार्टिसिपेट टुमारो। इफ यू कैन नॉट गिव आंसर, यू शुड बी एबल टू आंसर क्वेश्चन, है ना। कोई सवाल आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए कि ये सवाल है मेरा सर, मैं ये सोच रहा था, है ना, या मैं ये सोच रही थी, तो ये जरूर होना चाहिए, है ना। आई विल ट्राई टू आंसर। कुछ रह जाएगा तो उसको नेक्स्ट डे के लिए रख लेंगे, है ना, कुछ छोड़ेंगे नहीं इंशाल्लाह, है ना। चलिए, तो दैट्स इट, दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुमारो, सी यू इंशाल्लाह, दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे, सी यू टुमारो इंशाल्लाह ऑन द सेम टाइम। ओके, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, you can leave with salam.